Okay, right, let's get started. So, textbook, page 233, business, chapter 33. Okay, the whole topic is called budgets. Okay, so first of all, we have to consider what is meant by the term budget. Okay, this is a financial plan. It's not the same as a prediction. Okay, so it's not like something like a sales forecast, which is more likely to be a predicted number. It is a concrete plan that the business expects to achieve. It is built up from past data, and it is designed to give a direction for the achievement of that budget and the actions to take place to meet it. So first of all, you have to understand what is meant by the term a budget. Okay. Next, what we want to understand is the different types of budgets. Okay, so the first one that we've got is a sales budget. This measures revenue. It's what the business plans and expects to achieve in terms of revenue coming into the business over a given time period. That given time period is more likely to be a year, so it's an annual budget. But they could also have a quarterly budget. Okay, a quarterly budget is 3 months of the year. Okay, so bear that in mind. Next, we have what's called cost budgets. This is the amount of money that a business expects to spend, whether it is operational costs, whether it is capital expenditure, whether it is designed for one-off payments of certain things. Okay, so you've got cost budgets and you've got sales budgets. Now, next.
So I sent you my grades of year 3 and year 4 in my Dutch school.
Brilliant, thank you. So, next, we want to understand what are budgets used for. Okay, if you take a look at page 233, you'll see a list of those on the right-hand side, and they are all listed in bold. Okay, I can summarise each one of those.
Can you summarise what a budget is?
Yes, a budget is a financial plan.
That's it.
Okay, it is a plan that is agreed in advance that the business is hoping to achieve and is actually expecting to achieve that number. What they're going to do is they're going to take information, and the way they build that budget means that they are quite positive that they can achieve that number. So it's not just a future prediction. It's not, oh, I think it's going to rain next Tuesday. They're going to use precise information to be able to work out exactly what is going to happen. Okay? Now we'll come over a little bit later on how that's done, but there's a few easy ways. Historical data is an obvious one. Okay, and that's one way of creating a budget, but we'll look at that a little bit later when we come to look at what happens if you achieve it or don't achieve it. So, what are the reasons that budgets are there for in the first place? Well, here we go. We've got some of these basic ones here, haven't we? So, let's pull out a few of these. Control and monitoring. Okay, you say, right, this is what we expect to achieve over the course of the next year. Control and monitoring. Are we achieving it? Can we measure how close we are to achieving it? Is there a possibility that we might need to change something so that we can actually make sure that we achieve it? And we can monitor and check how regularly we are achieving or not achieving our goals. Planning. Pretty straightforward, right? How are we going to attain the goals? What actions are we going to put in place in order to meet those targets? Because it will set targets for employees, for managers, for senior managers, for the business as a whole. Ishmael, you got a question?
I know I was going to stop looking at the camera.
Thanks, Ishmael. I've never done this before. I'm new to this.
We can
Cheers.
tell. We can tell.
Next, coordinating. Larger businesses are dealing with multiple different offices, different branches, and actually they might be multinationals. They might have different offices in entirely different countries. So they use these budgets to coordinate where their resources are being allocated to. And it helps them to organise where their resources are going to be, or where the people are going to need to be. Yeah? Communication. Explaining to people what it is you want them to achieve is really important. Sounds silly, right? But these budgets are used to explain to workers, to employees, what is it that we expect from you and what do we want you to achieve in the future? Okay? So communicating those ideas is really powerful. Next, efficiency. Having the right people making decisions in a business can be extremely important. When we looked at, maybe not all of us, but when we looked at organisational structures, we talked about decentralisation of decision making. We talked about the use of delegation. Understanding which managers should be making those decisions makes us more efficient. If you have the wrong managers making the decisions, then you're going to be inefficient. But actually, communicating a budget, separating the budget into different departments, giving heads of departments the opportunity to make decisions based on those budgets is a good way to improve your level of efficiency. Next, motivation. We know, don't we, there's lots of different ways to motivate workers. But one of them is to set targets, set goals. Whether it's to reduce the amount of costs that they use for cost reduction purposes, or whether it's to boost their sales levels. This is designed as a tool for motivation as well. And you can actually generate a bit of positive motivation for those workers. Set them a goal, set them something to reach for. Some of them will, some of them might not. Okay, but ultimately it acts as a motivating tool. So, this is the end of part one, as it were. What are the things we need to know? First of all, we need to be able to define a budget. It's a financial plan. Okay, not really a prediction. It's based on solid evidence. Second, what are they used for? These are the 6 main reasons, and they can be seen on page 233 in your textbook. And you should read that. Number 4, what are the different types of budgets? Are they sales budgets? Are they cost budgets? And we're going to look at this in a bit more detail in part 2. Okay. Some key words. We'll come to the first one. Budget, sales, costs, annual, quarterly. Those you should be comfortable with already. Okay, we'll come to these 3 later on. Variance, favourable variance, adverse variance. Okay. So, first job. Read chapter 33, page 233. Check your understanding of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different areas. Okay, that is the end of part 1. Okay, thank you.